Hi guys, welcome back to Chinese TCG Store. Today I have another market watch for you. Before we get started, I do want to announce that I am doing another giveaway. We're going to be giving away a playset of rare drill and lockbirds. So all you need to do to be entered is first be subscribed. Make sure you like this video and leave a comment down below. It doesn't matter what it is, just leave one because that's how I can track it. But with that aside, let's go ahead and get in. So first is Spellbook of Fate. As you know, Spellbook of Judgment came off to one copy, so people were playing around with spellbooks. We had looked at this card not long ago before the ban list came out, and I believe first editions were going for like $25 or so for like lightly played, and unlims are going for like 15 to 17. I think maybe even first editions might have been slightly more than 25, but they were definitely under $40. But now lightly played, you have one near mint here for 33, and then it goes to 97 for light played unlimited, which is just crazy. And then lightly played first edition is going to be 120, and then your near mint first edition at 150. If you did pick these up when we talked about them earlier, I would go ahead and try to offload them. I don't really think spellbooks are going to do much, to be honest with you. Like it might be an interesting or like not interesting, a fun engine to play with, say something like Invoked, but I don't think that it's going to be like competitively like viable as far as doing very well with it. I don't think we'll see any tops with spellbooks, or if we do, I'd be surprised. Mediano's Drytron. We have talked about this a lot recently, but I just wanted to point out that we kind of looked at this after the ban list when we saw a bunch of the other Drytron cards going up in price, and there were still some copies left for 35 to 40. But now it's completely bought out to $80. As you can see, I have the cheapest listing here, but don't buy it. I did list it as lightly played because it does have like a print error, where it's like, I think it's like a little bit of extra ink or something on the card, but it's not like any like type of play wear or anything, but just listed as lightly played to be safe, even though I bought it as near mint. But I don't think it's worth it to get in the $80 range. But if you did pick it up for like $35, $40, you might want to consider offloading it. But yeah, definitely don't pick this up now. It's too late. It should come back down in price, over a little bit of time. Next is Rite of Aramesir, just the ultra rare. These have been down towards like 35, maybe even a little bit under 35, towards 30, for a while leading up to the ban list. And I think a lot of people expected this package to get hit somewhat, and I definitely was in that camp. But it didn't get touched, and lowest right now is $45 for lightly played first edition, and then up to like $48 for near mint first edition. And it bottoms out at like 55, so it's kind of almost back up to its like original price point after the set released, which is pretty crazy to see. Rite of Aramesir is much cheaper just because it does have the ultimate rare reprint at this point. But yeah, it's crazy to see this back up. I'm surprised that people are kind of turning their heads towards adventure at this point, because I don't really see what deck would really play it unless Sprite is trying to kind of refigure their deck, and maybe they'll play around with playing adventure again. At one point, I was seeing a few adventure sprites running around locals. Next is Fallen of Albaz from OTS Tournament Pack 19. When this OTS pack came out originally, all the card prices just plummeted. And I'm not sure why, other than the quality was really bad on this set. Don't get me wrong, the foiling looks like really, really good. It's probably one of the best foiling that I've seen in a while, but the cards are really flimsy and thin. And you can tell that the overall quality of the cards are a lot worse than they have been in the past. And I was just seeing a lot of play on the cards. Like even the ones that I ordered near mint came with whitening on the edges, and even just playing like a couple of games with the ultimate rares, like they start to get beat up pretty quick. So if you do buy these, make sure you're double sleeving them. But if you do buy them near mint, if you put them in like a double sleeve and put them in your binder, don't play them. They'll be fine. They'll probably last. But so for Fallen of Albaz, it was going for around 31 to 35 for lightly played to near mint. And lowest now is around 37, and then it quickly goes up to 40 here, especially when you get to the near mint, and bottoms out at $50. So if you wanted this card, I would probably pick this up as well sooner than later. I do think this card will age pretty well, because especially since for the next 3 months, Branded Despy is pretty much free and clear. They didn't get hit on the ban list. and I do expect this to be one of the better decks out there. I still think Tier is probably going to be the best by far, but as far as the other decks that are going to be competitive, this will definitely be one of them. Moving on to Water Enchantress, also from OTS Pack 19, the Ultimate Rare. These were also down towards 35 for a while, and these are starting to bounce as well. They're back up towards like $45, and then bottoming out a little over $50 on the first page. Again, like if you want to pick up some of these OTS 19 Ultimate Rares, you might just want to get on it sooner rather than later, just because I do think these will start disappearing over time, especially once we move on to OTS Pack 20, and these are no longer being distributed. Skill Drain is the last Ultimate Rare for OTS Tournament Pack 19, and we're seeing like an interesting flip here in value from this pack. Skill Drain for the longest time was the most expensive card, or the most expensive Ultimate Rare in this set, but also the most expensive card. But it's down in price to 42 for Lightly Played Unlimited. I think these were like around 65 to 70, or at least I think bottoming at 55 for the longest time. So it's interesting to see these crash back down. The near mints do go back up towards 49 here, but there are 5 copies there, and then bottoming out around 49.50. But again, if you want these, I would get them sooner than later. I do expect these to go back up in price. I just still think it's early on in the format after the ban list, but I do expect this to still be seeing play in Eldlik, which is still a super strong deck, and will probably not get hit on the ban list anytime soon. Well, we won't have a ban list period for at least another 3 months. Next is Cyber Angel Benten. So again, one of the cards that I mentioned to potentially pick up before the ban list when Lightly Plays were still going for $4 for the secret rares for the first edition. And now they are up to 20 lowest, which is about better than I expected for this card, honestly. I did expect it to go up at least $4 or $5 if it went to 3, but it kind of exceeded my expectations, which is good. So hopefully some of y'all picked it up. Even the Lost Arts are also going for around the 20 mark. And then pretty much every copy is worth something. I guess not the commons here. I guess it does have quite a few like commons and rares. So if you're wanting to play the deck, there's still budget options, which is good. Moving on. This is kind of like I guess one of the weirder picks I have up today, but it's Wonder Wand. And with the Spellbook of Judgment coming back, if you were trying to like build it into, let's say, like a Dogmatica deck, which is what I've heard some people messing around with, this could be an option for draw power if you want to cycle through your deck. Basically, as long as you have a normal summonable spellcaster, or even if you can special summon on your field in your first turn, if you equip this to it, you can send that card to the graveyard, and then you get to draw 2 cards, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like it's not a +2. I mean, you're going card for card, but I guess it depends on what deck you're playing in it. Because if you're playing it with, like, say, Invoked, and you already have like a light monster in hand, you can just send your Alistair to the graveyard from the field and draw 2 cards and not really lose anything, but the Wonder Wand in your hand, of course, because you can still just go use your invocation that you already have in hand that you search for when you normal summon your Alistair. But just something to consider, and even if it doesn't see play, which probably won't, it's still pretty cheap for how old it is. It's going for around $6.30 for Lightly Played Unlimited. And then first edition, you have a German for $8, and then let's see what the American print's going for, or North American rather. So a little bit more expensive. I'd say probably like under 15. Yep, so $12 for Lightly Played first edition, and then $12 for Near Mint. So up to you. I think either, unlimited or first edition is fine. Probably the first edition is the better option for collection wise, but up to you. You don't have to buy this card at all because it probably won't move in price anytime soon. But I do personally have one, and I think they look pretty good. Next is the Crystal Beast structure deck. So I pulled this up to kind of talk about it. We are getting a couple of good reprints in this. I think we're getting Ghost Spell and, of course, Ash Blossom, if they keep that for the North American print, or TCG print rather, which I assume they will. I don't think that I think Ash Blossom is confirmed, but I don't think that they're going to change it from what we already know. At least I'm pretty positive we'll get Ash Blossom and Ghost Bell. But these are going for around $65, which is you are getting 8 decks. So that's a pretty good price, honestly. It's less than $10 a box, probably something like $8 a box, which is still pretty good. But I wouldn't order it just yet. I would probably hold off until we actually get this set released and then see what the singles are going for. Because if you can pick up like Ash Blossoms for like a couple dollars, I think that's better than just picking up a bunch of structure decks. I would rather just pick up a bunch of common Ash Blossoms. So keep that in mind. I don't think Ash Blossoms will be $3. They'll probably be like around 5 or 6. But I would just keep your eye on that. Next is Alba lenatus. So this has been going up in price for both copies here. I believe the Starlight Rare was down to $85.90 at one point, which I considered picking up, but I ended up getting something else instead. I wish I would have picked one up, but they're up to $125, which is up, I guess, around probably like $40 to $50. And the secret rare is doubled up in price pretty much. It was around 10 to 11 when I bought mine. But I do think it's partially you do want to play this in Brain of Despy right now, pretty much a mandatory one of. But also it's really good to send off of Mirror Jade. And then also like if you're playing against like Tier Elements or something, it's pretty good to send off of your Ultimate Slayer. Or even now Nadir Servant, just because at the end phase it lets you add a normal fusion to your hand, which is always pretty good. Mostly for follow-up, because of course you're not going to be able to use it the same turn, but it would be pretty good for follow-up plays. I guess other than that, if you do have extra of these though, I would maybe consider offloading them. I just don't think they're going to go up higher than where they're at now. And if it does, I would think 25 to 26 is like the maximum price for the secret rare. The Starlight Rare I think could still go up towards like 150 or 160. So if you have one already and you're wanting to like sell it at some point in the future, you might want to hold off for a little bit, but I don't think I would pick up even the Starlight Rare at 125. If I did, it would probably only be if we got like a subscriber bonus bucks back or something. Next is Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon, from Battles of Legend Armageddon. Right now, these are going for 35, and bottoming out towards like 37. If you remember, these were going up towards, I believe it was like $60 to $65 at one point. They kind of get hyped from time to time, but I have been like playing around with the Bisted stuff online just to test it out, see if it's any good. And based on my testing, this card is really good as a one copy if you're playing Dragon Link Bisted. I don't know about other Bisted builds, but definitely for Dragon Link, you definitely would probably want to play one copy of this, just because it's a pretty free card. Like you're able to search this card, and then basically you can summon it out to your field, and then by banishing one light and dark monster from your graveyard, and then what you're able to do is then, if this is in like your pendulum zone, you can pop this card and then add a banished dragon back to your hand, which is pretty nice as well. Both effects are pretty decent. But yeah, I'll keep your eye on this because this could pop back up towards like $45, $50. Particularly if you were just wanting to build the Bisted deck. If you were like just gonna invest in this card, I probably wouldn't do it. Probably not worth it because we could get a reprint at any time. But if you're wanting to play this deck, you probably are going to need this card. So just keep that on your list of things to pick up. Next is Trickstar Light Stage. Again, this is one of the cards that came off the ban list to 3 and is currently bought out. I think before the ban list, it was only a couple dollars for the ultra rares, but now up towards $7 to $8. As you can see, I do have one listed up. And if you have these as well, I would probably offload them as well. It's not really worth holding on to. I don't think Trickstars are going to do anything. Unless, of course, you want to like try to play around with Trickstars, and that's fine. That is going to be everything for the Market Watch. Again, we will be giving away a playset of Droll and Lockbirds, so make sure that you like the video and are subscribed, and make sure you leave a comment down below. But thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.